There's no denying that Missoula is developing at a rapid pace, but you asked us what's being done to make sure critical infrastructure is keeping up. Some residents in Grant Creek say not much, and they're taking it upon themselves to prepare for wildfire emergency evacuations. NBC Montana's Margaret Full is working for you to get the answers.
Picture this: more than 27,000 people trying to escape a deadly fire when they're caught in a traffic jam. That's exactly what happened in California's Camp Fire in 2018 because there weren't enough exit routes. On a smaller scale, areas around Missoula face the same challenge.
We need to have a new way of thinking about how we prepare for wildfires.
Grant Creek has one way in and out and about 2,000 residents. If everyone's trying to escape a fire down the same path, that could make evacuation and emergency response difficult. Some say developments approved by the city and county are missing the difference between urban planning and planning in the wildland-urban interface, which is where houses are in or near wildland vegetation.
If the county or the city turns around in a place like Grant Creek and approves a new development, how does that in the long run affect all that work you put in to reduce the fire risk in that area?
Cole is one of 3 retired firefighters and residents of Grant Creek that penned a letter to the city council in August. With over 130 years of experience dealing with wildfires combined, they said one 2-lane road without shoulders is a watch-out situation. It means there's only one escape route for everyone. In 2005, Missoula's Wildfire Protection Plan listed Grant Creek as one of 37 critical egress areas in the county. Local fire departments listed it as a priority for wildfire risk due to egress issues. So we're asking, what's being done about it? The short answer, residents tell me not much. From mapping out potential emergency routes to working with private landowners to secure potential egress, Grant Creek residents have taken it upon themselves. That's because they've talked with officials, but they say there's been no follow-up.
All the information that we gathered for the documentation was available to all those agencies. None of those agencies ever provided that information on their own. Whether it was at the city, county, state, or federal level, there was just mostly a no comment.
So we reached out. Officials with emergency management told me adding egress routes isn't feasible due to the geography of the area and private land.
Grant Creek and the concerns of the people in Grant Creek are not unique to Grant Creek. Just about any drainage in the Missoula Valley that has development in it has limited ingress in that it's one way in, one way out. It's just the nature of the topography that we face.
Rattlesnake and Patty Canyon face similar egress issues. We found out they were identified along with Grant Creek in 1994. But Grant Creek residents say it's still a concern, and if new development is coming to the area, critical infrastructure should keep up. A 2015 study found that large fires are happening more often and for longer periods of time, noting the greatest increases are in the northern Rockies. Officials told me the best thing people can do is be prepared.
I think what's important is for an educated and informed population to know what their hazards are and the real things that they can do to help address those hazards, as far as being signed up for emergency alerts, taking steps to harden their structure in the home ignition zone so that their house is less susceptible to wildfire, and then paying attention to changing conditions so that when an evacuation does become necessary, that they are prepared to take those necessary actions.
Cole and other residents say, sure, we can do that, but what we can't do on our own is change our escape routes, establish safety zones, or control traffic. And that's where they want officials to step up to the plate. Reporting in Missoula, Margaret Full, NBC Montana.
You can watch Margaret's story again and find the critical studies she references online at NBCMontana.com.